been quite a long time since my last video, and it feels as if much has changed since then. As is custom high in the mountains, winter refused spring's arrival, and snow blanketed the forest well into May, with our last snow being on the 1st of June. Though winter is my favorite time of year, even I was ready for that annual exchange of fire for sun. It was a year without a spring, and summer charged in wearing a gown of emerald. The thistles, always the first to brave that push from below and up into the sun, soon heralded in the bunchgrass, willows, wild roses, and finally, the only deciduous trees that thrive this high in the mountains, the aspens, with their elegant snow-colored trunks, dotted with dozens of eyes, watching over the forest. Those early months of this year were a blur to me, and I felt as if everything had emerged and bloomed from the underworld, except for me, who was still there in the loam, just below the surface. The story of Persephone rising from Hades, whose return brings her mother, Demeter, overflowing joy spilling upon the earth in flowers and vegetation, frequently played in my mind. How she must have felt there beneath the earth, clawing through the roots and soil, gasping for that first breath of air, desperate for her baptism of sunlight. I felt, in a strange way, that I could relate. As always, the riot of life and flourishing all around me was a balm for the frustration I felt inside. And now I was feeling this way, I had many outward things to look forward to, such as the finishing of my art studio, which my father had been working on for a year, and I was tremendously excited to start using it. I wanted to do a little bit of a studio reveal, and it's been a long time since this place started getting work done on it. My father has been amazing and just created this beautiful, beautiful studio for me, and now we're finally at the stage where I can add furniture and decorations and really make it my own. And I wanted to bring you along for that process. I hope you guys will enjoy seeing as I add things here and there in future videos, and as it slowly comes together and becomes more of my artistic home. So I hope you enjoy. When we first saw our cabin, it had a large storage building, and I immediately dreamt of turning it into an art studio. I have worked at dining tables, in the corner of my childhood bedroom, spare rooms, and pretty much anywhere I and my art could comfortably fit. But over the years, as my artwork got bigger and more complex, requiring more tools, it became increasingly difficult to find space to create the art that was being asked of me. My father took up the project and spent countless hours over many months renovating this old building, putting in windows, sealing and insulating the walls, connecting it to electricity, and installing lighting, outlets, and switches, and finally cutting and fitting hundreds of cedar boards to finish the walls and ceiling. My dad has always been the best problem solver I know, and he continually amazes me with what he is capable of making and fixing. It is not lost on me that him doing this is a profound symbol of how much he supports and believes in me, and I will forever be grateful for that more than anything. Since filming this, I have moved into my studio, and have already spent many cozy hours in here drawing and painting. I cannot describe to you how good it feels to have a space all for this purpose. If you are an artist, perhaps you can relate to the feeling of finding a place where you can lose yourself in your art, where everything makes sense, and suddenly you feel all clumsiness and self-consciousness that you would otherwise feel out in the world fall away, because this is what you feel you were made to do. I imagine it as the difference between a swan waddling awkwardly up to a lake's edge, and then gliding into cool, gentle waters with ease and grace. Like the German word Funktionlust, coined by Karl Bühler, there is a strong desire to use the natural powers and gifts that are innately ours, an instinctual lust towards the activities we are best at, which, when kept from, can cause severe emotional and physical distress and entropy, such as the animals caged in zoos we see pacing endlessly, or displaying other, more upsetting signs of mental suffering, when kept from running, hunting, migrating, and otherwise using the gifts and powers they were born to. There are few times in my life when I feel this, but when I am creating art, I feel myself falling into place within the great saga of all that is.